Hi, everybody. So we are going to go over the work that you were assigned on Wednesday. It started off with this page. It says tile patterns. And this should look very similar to what we've done in QR this year, where we give you a pattern, you need to graph, make a table, write an equation for this. Now, the only thing that makes this a little bit different is down at the bottom on letter D, it wants you to answer some questions about it. So I'm going to go over tile pattern A and show you what the expectations were. So figure 0 has 1, 2, 3 tiles. So I'm going to put that in my table. Figure 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tiles. Figure 2 has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 tiles. So now without counting figure 3, how many tiles do you think there are? So there are going to be 18. Now, how did I know that without counting? What can I tell that this is growing by? I can tell that it's growing by 5. So in figure 4, I know that there's going to be 23 tiles. So when I draw that, I'm going to have, so this is 3, that has 4, that has 5, this has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I know this is going to have 7 going this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oops. There we go. So 7. And then this goes up by 1. This 2. This has 3 up. This is going to have 4 up. 1, 2, 3, 4 over 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's what figure 4 is going to look like. Okay. Now we can put in figure 5 is going to have 28 tiles. And then we can graph this. So figure 0 has 3 tiles. So 1, 2, 3. Figure 1 has 8 tiles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Figure 2 has 13 tiles. So there's 10, 11, 12, 13. 3 has 18 tiles. 4 has 23. 1, 2, 3. And 5 has 28. Okay. So that's what your figure 4 should look like. Your graph should look like your table. And now we do need to write the equation. Now, just as a reminder, this is going to be y equals growth times x plus the starting value. So in this case, the growth is going to be whatever this is growing by, which is plus 5. So we'll have y equals 5x plus, and your starting value is whatever figure 0 is. So that's going to be plus 3. So y equals 5x plus 3 is going to be the equation. Now, we've done that so many times in QR, so you guys should have had that down, no problem. Now, letter C is describe how the number of tiles grows from figure to figure. Now, one thing I do want to note about integrated 1 is you have to be very aware of what the question is asking you. So you need to go through this and actually read all the questions to make sure you're completing the problem how it wants you to complete it. Okay, so I did letter A, I studied the pattern. I did letter B, I completed the table graph equation for this tile pattern. Now I need to describe how the number of tiles grows from figure to figure. Now, what's really important is that you write in complete sentences. So I would write the number of tiles grows by 5 from figure to figure. Okay. And then it also wants you to answer the questions for letter D. So letter D says, describe the graph of the functions. Consider, what is the general shape? So looking at this, that is a line. So I would say the general shape of the graph is a line. Okay. From left to right, is it increasing or decreasing? Left to right, this is going up, so it is increasing. If you drew a line or a curve through the points and extended the graph in both directions, what would the x and y intercepts be? Now, this is a concept that's very important. Y-intercept is labeled. Y-intercept is right here. It's where it crosses that y-axis, which we have talked about. The x-intercept, on the other hand, is not labeled. So what that's asking you to do is actually to extend this line out and tell me where it's going to hit here. Now, if our growth is 5, that means it's going to go down 5 more. So that's 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then over 1. So it's going to be somewhere in that vicinity. It's not going to be a perfect number, so I'm actually not going to go over exactly how to do that because that's going to be something that your integrated 1 teacher teaches you, but that's how you would do that. But I'm going to say the y-intercept is 0,3. And just as a reminder, we do write the y-intercept as a coordinate because that's how you write an intercept. Okay, and then are there any values of x and y which are not possible in the function? And that's talking about if you plug in a value, if it wouldn't work. Now, in this case, all the values of x and y are going to be possible in the function because it is linear. All right, now I had you do problem 26, which problem 26 is actually asking you to do this exact same process that we just did, but for tile patterns 2, 3, and 4. So I am not going to go over theirs, but we are expecting you to turn in all of that work. So you need to be doing an equation, a table, drawing figure 3, making the graph, and answering those questions for each of these tile patterns. Then problems for homework. I'm going to go over a couple of these. So let's start with 28, letter A. M over 6 equals 15 over 18. There are a few ways to do this. You could, number 1, cross multiply, or number 2, use use fraction properties. So I'm going to show you both ways, okay? So the first way I'm going to show you is using cross multiplication. So what that would be is M over 6 equals 15 over 18. You would cross 18 times M is 18M. 6 times 15 is 90. And then you would divide that. So M equals 5. So that's the first way to do that. The second way to do this would be using fraction properties. That's what I'm going to call that. So M over 6 equals 15 over 18. Now, this works because I can multiply 6 times something to get 18. If you can't do that, then it doesn't work to do it this way. So this would be 6 times what gives you 18. 6 times 3 gives you 18. So this would be M times 3 would have to be 15, which means M has to be 5 for that to work out. So as you can see, you get the same answer either way you do it. Just a personal preference. It is whatever you prefer. Okay, now flipping over to number 31. Okay, I wrote in your directions that you needed to use the notes that say types of angles. That is a very common thing for integrated 1 to do, is to give you a problem that you've not necessarily learned about, but there's notes in the packet. Okay, so you do need to utilize that packet so that you can do the problems. So it says, estimate the size of each angle below to the nearest 10 degrees. A right angle is shown for reference. So you need a protractor. Then classify each angle. So the notes that I was talking about were right here. It says types of angles, and there's all these types of angles here. So you can see and make a guess. Now, this is just a guess. You're just trying to guess what the degrees are. Now, a right angle looks like that. And we have talked about right angles before. A right angle is 90 degrees. Okay, so looking at this one, is that one bigger or smaller or equal to 90 degrees? This is going to be bigger. So bigger than 90, that means it is obtuse. Okay, so that's the classification, is obtuse. And then is it like way bigger than 90 or just kind of bigger than 90? So since it's just kind of bigger than 90, I'm going to just guess that it's 94 degrees. That is a complete guess. I have absolutely no idea if that's the right answer, but it's okay. You can guess, and it's okay if you get it just a little bit wrong. It's not a big deal. Okay, so don't worry about guessing. Letter B. Is this bigger or smaller than 90? That one's bigger than 90, so that one is obtuse again. And 180 degrees is a flat line. And this one's almost flat. That one's almost flat. So I'm going to say that that's like 172 degrees. Okay, it's almost flat. So it should be almost 180. And then letter C, is that bigger or smaller than 90? That one is going to be smaller than 90, which is called acute. Okay, and since it's a lot smaller than 90, I'm going to say that that's about, I don't know, 50 degrees. Again, I have absolutely no idea if that's right, but it's just a guess. And then I did have you do problem 32, which it gives you a table. It wants you to graph and then describe. You are able to do that one on your own because that is super similar to the tile pattern problems. Just make sure that you answer the question letter C. That's where we're really looking to see if you understand what's going on. Just do your best. That's all that integrated wants you to do, is it wants you to think about things and do your best when you're practicing on your own or within your group. All right, so that's all for the video. You will have problems to do. So go ahead and do those. Have a great day.